Hey guys, this is going to be another review of another album that came out in 2015. This will be uploaded, I believe. I don't have this one scheduled for like on my little. I have a little schedule sheet to make sure I keep releases all kept in together. And I don't have this one on as a scheduled one because it's a recent release, so I want to get this review as quick as possible to give people my opinion, so I don't seem, off point with the time. But yeah, this is basically a review of the newest Kadavar album that you can hear playing in the background. I don't have the CD with me, unfortunately, but or any format of this release, but I do have my opinion wrote up. So, and I have the iTunes. So I got an iTunes version of it. So. This is the song Lord of the Sky, if you're wondering. Now, Kadavar are from Germany, and they consist of 3 members. And this is their 3rd album, and it's out on Nuclear Blast. I believe all their releases besides their first one were on Nuclear Blast. And this is, I would classify, if you don't know, Kadavar they formed in 2010, 2011, but I would consider the music stoner / blues / hard rock, and then like a bit of proto metal thrown in. If I could describe it as anything, if you took ZZ Top, made him slightly heavier, gave him a more powerful vocalist and a better production, and just a little bit better in my opinion, and not the 80s ZZ Top, like early 70s ZZ Top, like first 3 or 4 albums ZZ Top kind of shit. But don't go thinking that like the vocals, like just listen, this is not like ZZ Top, this is different. Like it has more of a upbeat kind of feeling, and there's a lot of there's more heavy elements and more guitar solos and shit like that. But yeah, I find this to be great shit. I find it really catchy. I find it really interesting. The worst thing about it, I'm just gonna say this now, the band does forget to be different. They usually, if you listen to their 2012 album, that's the only album I find that's different. The Abracadaver album and this album are very similar. I will be reviewing their 2 previous albums, but not at this stage. I'll be doing those later on. But I do find this to be like a similar album to their last album, which is kind of annoying, but I understand it. You know, they can't change everything. So, if I could say anything, I wish they would get. I hope their next album has more innovation. But like I say, this is an average Kadavar album compared to their last one. So let me just get into this. This was released August 21st, the same day as Malaria by Ghost. So there's that. And they're from Germany, Berlin, Germany. So hence the title of the album. But I'll just go into the tracks. Lord of the Sky. It opens up the album, but I'll show you the beat in the beginning. And the beat reminds me of Deuce by Kiss, just a drum beat for some reason. Just listen. Like, it just reminds me of it. I don't think it's the exact copy at all, but it just reminds me of it. And this is my favorite track on the album, just stating that now. And sad thing about this band is that they're the kind of band that they could probably fill a greatest hits album with no problem, but it's hard to listen to a full album by them because I find the tracks do sound similar at times, with certain ones standing out for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it's an extremely lively track, and it gets you pumped for the rest of the release. And like I said, it reminds me of Kiss's Deuce at times, but mainly in the opening. Vocals are great on the song as well, and every song on this album is a average 4-minute song, or almost 4 minutes long exactly most of the time. So yeah. Then we move on to the second track. This was released as a music video, and I believe it's the single off the album, Last Living Dinosaur. This is another great track. It opens with an extremely hooky riff and leads into a really catchy kind of vocal melody. And the video for this track is really fitting as well. Like, it has this 70s looking chick going around selling drugs, I believe, and then she nearly gets caught or some shit. I don't know, she just looks like a retro chick living in the new age, so I kind of get it, like the last living dinosaur, like the last of her kind of bullshit, I guess. I don't know, kind of mixes together, but it's a cool music video either way. But yeah, I think this song and the video that the song the video to the song matches the aesthetic of this album. Like, the girl in the video kind of looks like the girl on the cover of the album, so it fits the aesthetic of the album, really. Then we move on to the third track, 1,000 Miles Away from Home. And this song reminds me of the Kadavar album really heavily for some reason. I don't think it could have been moved to that album, and I would not even notice a difference, like, in sound for some reason. And it is a catchy song, and it's really catchy and groovy. I find, like, it's one of those songs where I'm always, like, bobbing my head to it a little bit. And the vocals on this whole album seem to, like, have the 70s stoner, like the way they're mixed. The vocals seem to have, like, that 70s, like, far away vibe. Like, the guy is singing into, like, an echo chamber or some shit. And it's not extremely apparent, but, like, his voice sounds bigger than it might actually be, which is an interesting effect, I find. Then we move on to the next track, Filthy Illusion, which has a groovy opening with a little mini solo opening up. A lot of these songs have little tiny solos here and there all over the place. You wouldn't really be able to identify all of them. And the vocals seem on point. Like, this whole album, like I said, the vocals are right on. And it's just another extremely catchy track with superb riffs. Just listen to this track for a second, actually. A lot of great riffs on this album. But yeah, I know these guys have toured with guys like Pentagram Black, and I believe Saint Vitus and all that kind of shit, like stoner metal stuff and doom metal stuff. So, and they do take a lot of inspiration from that, but I believe they just tone it down a lot. So, Pale Blue Eyes, like I said, another groove-oriented song, and has an upbeat opening with a droning riff that I like, and the vocals are great, and it's really catchy. So yeah, that's a recurring theme, that all these songs are really catchy and just have a great sound to them, and they do sound like modern ZZ Top with what I said before, different about it. The Old Man, Stolen Dreams is another, just average track. The Old Man starts with a noodly kind of riff that leads into a bass-driven riff. Repetitive but good, but like I said, most of this album is repetitive, and I wish it was different than Kadavar. It seems like they just played off the sound of that album, but I don't really think it's this album is bad. But yeah, I'll just continue here. Spanish Wild Rose opens with like a Queens of the Stone Age-esque kind of riff. It leads into a bass-driven riff again, and like I said, more repetitiveness, but these guys, like, when their songs sound similar, they're not similar like boring, they're usually like all good, so that's nothing to worry about. Then I think See the World with Your Own Eyes. It sounds very lively, and the production makes the song sound really open at times, like it's a really expansive song. And it's pretty like a wide like kind of song where it has an open sound, not just like closed off by the production. And Circles in My Mind is a track that I listened to and immediately forgot it. I had to go back. I had to listen to that track 2 times as much as the rest of the album just to be like, can I remember even a riff from that? And that's the worst thing. This album is like not the kind of album where you're humming every song. You're more humming like Lord of the Sky and Last Living Dinosaur, and that's it. So yeah, Circles in My Mind is not very interesting. Good groove, but it is forgettable, so it is my least favorite track. Into the Night, cool effects on the vocals, like there's echoey effects on the vocals, which is really interesting. Like there's just an echo, and it makes it really sound really cool in my opinion. I don't like when that's done on a lot of albums. I believe certain bands, they can't really use that effect to their advantage. They just kind of make their vocals sound like shit or really weird, but this kind of works for this. And I find the bass is nice on this, and it's a memorable track, and there's some trippy ending effect to it, which leads into the last song, which is a bonus track, which I believe is on European versions or something along that line, or maybe Best Buy or some shit. I won't be able to exactly tell you at this moment, but Reich der Traume, or Trauma, it's German, so I can't pronounce it for shit. But it starts off with a strange like phase in. As you can hear, I'll just show you guys. It's totally different than the rest of the album. All the song is in German, and it has some. It's mostly electronic. There's no guitars on this at all, as far as I can tell, or not that I can pick it out. And it's mostly electronic. But it stands out heavily, and I think it's the most interesting track out of the first three. And it is ambient almost, with German vocals over it. And I think it's great. Just give it a quick listen. I will admit it reminds me slightly of Ghost, if Ghost were to go ambient. Like just the way it's like so softly played. But yeah, it's a great track. I find it's a different sound. And I wish it was included on the main album. But as you know, bonus tracks are fucking shit. I've already gone into that before. But yeah, it's just a great track, and I believe it should have been on the album. It's just worthwhile, and just it gives you a breather. I would have liked this in the middle of the album somewhere, because it gives a breather from the same song, like groove over and over again. And I find they do recycle a lot of their riffs, but it's just, I find this to be good if you're not listening to music for like the lyrics and like for the deepness of the music. You're listening to an album to walk around your local, like walk around downtown or something like that. Just like steady groove oriented music that keeps you energized, which is what I find this to be. So yeah, that's all I got to say about this release. I do like their second album more than this one, I'd have to say, except for if the first three songs were like, if the good, like the greatness of the first three songs and probably the last song on the album, if that was dragged over and over into every other track, like if what the melodies and stuff were as good on all the other songs, and if they were as intriguing as the bonus track, I'd love this album. But it kind of seems stale to me, and really I just don't think it's that great of an album compared to what they can do. So basically, there's 4 tracks on this album that are just as good, if not better, than their last album, and the rest is just there, and it's alright, but it's not anything to write home about. So I have to give this album a 77 out of 100. And like I said, I gave Lord of the Sky an 8.7 which is an 87 when I rated that, and that was the highest one on this album, so it's not really that amazing in my eyes. But yeah, 77 out of 100, alright album. If you like what Kadavar has been doing, check this out. You might like it more than I have, or you might fucking hate it, I don't know. So if you like Kadavar, or you like stoner / blues rock, or proto metal sound and shit, check this out. It's on Nuclear Blast, so it's not hard to find. So yeah, see you guys, and peace the fuck out.